What up, homies? Welcome back, Conspiracy University. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna talk about this. Another one of these so-called conspiracy theories that are actually a conspiracy fact, proven to be true. And let's go over some of the proof right here. All right. So I got this article pulled up here from Scientific American. This was put out in 2008, so it's fairly old. Mind control by cell phone. Electromagnetic signals from cell phones can change your brain waves and behavior, but don't break out the aluminum foil head shield just yet. You see how they do that, right? How they go ahead and try to take a little joke, make a little joke, right? But you know what? I know what they're really trying to do. I see y'all. Hospitals and airplanes ban the use of cell phones because their electromagnetic transmissions can interfere with sensitive electrical devices. Could the brain also fall into that category? Of course, all our thoughts, sensations, and actions arise from bioelectricity generated by neurons and transmitted through complex neural circuits inside our skull. Electrical signals between neurons generate electric fields that radiate out of brain tissue as electrical waves that can be picked up by electrodes touching a person's scalp. Measurements of such brain waves in EEGs provide powerful insight into brain function and a valuable diagnostic tool for doctors. Indeed, so fundamental are brain waves to the internal workings of the mind, they have become the ultimate legal definition drawing the line between life and death. Brainwaves change with a healthy person's conscious and unconscious mental activity and state of arousal. But scientists can do more with brainwaves than just listen in on the brain at work. They can selectively control brain function by transcranial magnetic stimulation. I repeat, they can selectively control brain function by transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS. This technique uses powerful pulses of electromagnetic radiation beamed into a person's brain to jam or excite particular brain circuits. Although a cell phone is much less powerful than TMS, liars, the question still remains, could the electrical signals coming from a phone affect certain brainwaves operating in resonance with cell phone transmission frequencies? After all, the caller's cerebral cortex is just centimeters away from radiation broadcast from the phone's antenna. Two studies provide some revealing news. The first, led by Rodney Croft of the Brain Science Institute, Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne, Australia, tested whether cell phone transmissions could alter a person's brainwaves. Excuse me. The researchers monitored the brainwaves of 120 healthy men and women while a Nokia 6110 cell phone, one of the most popular cell phones in the world, was strapped to their head. A computer controlled the phone's transmissions in a double-blind experimental design, which meant that neither the test subject nor researchers knew whether the cell phone was transmitting or idle while EEG data were collected. The data showed that when cell phone was transmitting, the power of a characteristic brainwave pattern called alpha waves in the person's brain was boosted significantly. The increased alpha wave activity was greatest in brain tissue directly beneath to the cell phone, strengthening the case that the phone was responsible for the observed effect. Alpha waves fluctuate at a rate of 8 to 12 cycles per second. These brain waves reflect a person's state of arousal and attention. Alpha waves are generally regarded as an indicator of reduced mental effort, cortical idling, or mind wandering. But this conventional view is perhaps an oversimplification. Croft, for example, argues that the alpha wave is really regulating the shift of attention between external and internal inputs. Alpha waves increase in power when a person shifts his or her consciousness of the external world to internal thoughts. They are also the key brainwave signatures of sleep. If cell phone signals boost a person's alpha waves, does this nudge them subliminally into an altered state of consciousness or have any effect at all on the workings of their mind that can be observed in a person's behavior? In the second study, James Horn and colleagues at the Loughborough University Sleep Research Center in England devised an experiment to test this question. The result was surprising. Not only could the cell phone signals alter a person's behavior during the call, the effects of the disrupted brainwave patterns continued long after the phone was switched off. This was a completely unexpected finding. Liars. Horn told me, we didn't suspect any effect on EEG after switching off the phone. We were interested in studying the effect of mobile phone signals on sleep itself. But it quickly became obvious to Horn and colleagues in preparing for the sleep research experiments that some of the test subjects had difficulty falling asleep. Horn and his colleagues controlled a Nokia 6310 e-cell phone, another popular and basic phone, attached to the head of 10 healthy but sleep-deprived men in their sleep research lab. Their sleep had been restricted to 6 hours the previous night. The researchers then monitored the men's brainwaves by EEG while the phone was switched on and off by a remote computer, and also switched between standby, listen, and talk modes of operation for 30-minute intervals on different nights. The experiment revealed that after the phone was switched to talk mode, a different brainwave pattern called delta waves in the range of 1 to 4 hertz remained dampened for nearly 1 hour after the phone was shut off. These brainwaves are most reliable and sensitive marker of stage 2 sleep. Approximately 50% of total sleep consists of this stage, and the subjects remained awake twice as long after the phone transmitting in talk mode was shut off. Although the test subjects had been sleep deprived the night before, they could not fall asleep for nearly 1 hour after the phone had been operating without their knowledge. Although this research shows that cell phone transmissions can affect a person's brainwaves with persistent effects on behavior, Horn does not feel there is any need for concern that cell phones are damaging. I repeat, Horn does not feel there's any need for concern that cell phones are damaging. Horn, you're going to have to catch this fade, Horn. You're going to get the business too, man. Okay. Anyways, y'all, as y'all can see, there's a little bit more here. It's not really much more. Nothing really important. Just, I read enough here so y'all can get the overall gist of what's going on. And, maybe if y'all ever have the time, y'all can come look into this yourselves, and trust when I say there will be some things that will shock you. But, we're kind of used to that by now, right? They say the truth is stranger than fiction, or the truth is stranger than a lie, or whatever that saying is. Y'all know what I mean. Okay, another one right here that I wanted to show y'all. Optogenetics, controlling the brain with light, extended version. In this web exclusive, the author offers a longer version of his December 2010 Scientific American article on how researchers can probe how the nervous system works in unprecedented detail using a technique called optogenetics. Despite the enormous efforts of clinicians and researchers, our limited insight into psychiatric disease, the worldwide leading cause of years of life lost to death or disability, hinders the search for cures and contributes to stigmatization. Clearly, we need new answers in psychiatry. But as philosopher of science Karl Popper might have said, before we can find the answers, we need the power to ask new questions. In other words, we need new technology. It's all cap, right? It's all cap. They're just gonna try to talk around it, and they're gonna let you know, right? Like they have to tell you what they're doing, right? So they're gonna tell you, they're gonna let you know, they're gonna make it sound smart and sophisticated. And they do understand that most people will not sit here and read all this stuff, right? Well, I'm not most people, and I read it all, right? I do. And since I know some of my homies out here on YouTube don't have the time, I got you. No worries. I'm gonna read it for you, or at the very least, I'm gonna lead you to. I'll be lazy sometimes, so I'll at least lead y'all to where y'all need to go to read some of it, right? But I think y'all should check this out, y'all. I really think y'all would like this. And as always, I appreciate every single one of y'all who come over here and rock with me. Y'all keep your eyes open out there, homies. Stay safe.